Alrighty, so we got our truck running and we are out of business, and unfortunately they had a little bit of a water leak and some of the ceiling came down. We ripped out the rest of everything that was wet because it's not savable. Their insurance company will probably pay for new ceiling, contractor come in and fix it all and all fun stuff, but this stuff, if we wouldn't have took it down, it would have fallen down on all of their stuff here. So we put a drop cloth on this, so if anything drips out of there falls, it's not getting on their stuff. And then right now what we're doing, because that made a heck of a mess and the floor still has some water on it, Rachel here is flushing out all the dirt and stuff so that the fibers can have time to dry and pull moisture out. And what we're going to do from here is we're going to set up some drying equipment. And we're going to contain this room where all this moisture came from. We're going to contain this room. We're going to warm it up because heat helps things dry a lot quicker. So we're going to heat it up and put in some dehumidification equipment, and that's going to pull all that moisture out of the ceiling and out of the floors. And that's going to help it dry really quick. So that's what you want. You want it dry quick and correctly. So that's where we kind of come in, is being IICRC certified for water damage restoration. This is where we come in. We assess the situation, figure out where the water's coming from. We already checked the second floor. We have drying equipment already up there. And now we're taking care of the majority of the problem right here. You can see right behind Rachel here, for the water, that's where it stopped. And then we already went in the basement and evaluated the basement. And believe it or not, most of the moisture stopped right here on this floor. There's just a little bit of seep through that went into the basement, and so we're going to set up a couple fans downstairs and make sure that everything stays nice and dry. So that's what we're up to. So this is step one, evaluation and cleanup. We did a little bit of deconstruction here, and then step two is going to be drying. Step three is going to be monitoring, and step four is going to be removing the equipment from the area. I'm going to try to do all of these steps for you guys and show you how we do things and why they're done a certain way. So, you want to say hi, Rach? Hi. Yeah, so either way, I hope you guys are having fun, but if you have any problems with water damage in your home or your business, please feel free to give us a call, 814-547-1848. So, let's watch Rachel suck up some water. Remember, she's flushing dirt out by using clean water, because this is full of like grit and sand from all the plaster and lath that had to come down. But luckily it's clean water, and this whole situation is clean water that was actually had chlorine in it, so there shouldn't be much of an issue. We're going to put down a microbial agent, microban anyways, just because sometimes some of these older materials can have things hidden in them. So I mean hidden, it can be mold, bacteria. I mean, there was a squirrel nut in there, so it might have been squirrel poop or something that got on this when everything came down. So we're going to microban everything, make it all nice and good again. But you can see how much cleaner that looks than this is, because it's got so much stuff in it. So we're just rinsing away all of this contamination. Going to microban it, and then we're going to set up containment and drying equipment. So there's some of the drying equipment, instruments for measuring moisture. Here, I'll show you guys. So this isn't a fancy instrument pack, but this is basic flashlight moisture meter. This is a pin moisture meter. They'll tell me if things are wet. You got pinless. This will tell me if a floor is wet underneath the linoleum. That's important. It's another pinned one. This will tell me different building materials and wood. And you're using a reference. So when you turn this on and you're referencing a dry area versus a wet area, you're always going to reference the dry area. Let me open this up here. It'll turn on once I open it up. So, all right. So what happens is you put this into the material, the wood or drywall, okay, And what it does is it'll tell you the percentage of moisture. Now this is all relative to whatever the dryness is of the building. So you're going to use this as a reference to see when your wet area matches the dry area, and that's really important. And then of course we have a psychrometer. Okay, this measures how much humidity is in the air, your wet bulb temperature, and dew point. And dew point's really important when it comes to a lot of this, because if you are doing it, especially in the winter, and you got cold walls, but you got a hot floor, you can cause condensation on the walls and cause secondary damage, which you do not want to do. And then I actually have two of these, and they have different functions. One does grains per pound, and what that actually measures, the grains per pound, it can actually measure how much moisture is in the air in a physical weight measurement. Whereas this one here, yeah, it'll measure humidity. Humidity, again, is relative to the temperature in the air. So the hotter the air, the more moisture it can hold, the faster the evaporation. But yeah, so we use these to kind of go off each other and check a lot of stuff. And then what you don't see here, and I can't show you, but what we also use is we have a thermal imager. And what the thermal imager does is it can tell us, when I look at the ceiling here in a couple of minutes, what it can do is it can tell us if there's any more moisture underneath all of this or behind the wall, because things that are wet tend to be colder. So I can't show you that because it actually uses my phone and an attachment, and I'll be able to look and see if there's any more moisture hidden anywhere in the building here in this area, and kind of go from there. But we already moved a lot of the heavy stuff out. We're going to contain this doorway, and then we're going to contain this doorway also, and that way we can make that a drying chamber. We can get that nice and warm in there to facilitate faster drying. And what we can do is we can contain it so that they can still do their work here in the office if they choose to, but it'll all be contained and humidity controlled. So all right, well, that's enough of me spieling. I hope you guys have a great day, and if you need us, give us a call, 814-547-1848 for your water restoration needs. So see you soon.